Get ready. What you're about to learn will completely reshape your view of motorcycle dealerships. Those gleaming showrooms, they're not signs of success, but signs of struggle. Behind the flashy limited-time offers lies a world of debt, risky financing, and desperate tactics. I'm revealing the hidden games dealers play and how you can use them to your advantage. Welcome to the truth behind no one's buying them, the truth about motorcycles that never sell. Let me bust your first major myth about motorcycle dealerships. Those polished showrooms, filled wall to wall with every color and model, aren't a sign of booming business. They're often a warning. I found this out the hard way in 2017, when I nearly bought into a Triumph dealership near Portland. The place looked successful, with Bonnevilles and Tigers everywhere, but the financials were a disaster. That's when I learned the truth. Dealers don't own those bikes. They finance them through a system called floor planning. It's a high-interest loan designed for inventory, meaning every shiny motorcycle on display is essentially borrowed. Dealers must make monthly payments, whether the bike sells or not. They also cover rent, insurance, and staff costs. And unlike big retailers like Walmart, they can't return unsold inventory. When bikes sit too long, expenses pile up quickly, turning those glossy showrooms into silent financial sinkholes, camouflaged with chrome and debt. Motorcycle dealers are stuck with whatever inventory they order. There are no takebacks. Once a bike leaves the factory in Japan, Milwaukee, or elsewhere, it's completely the dealer's problem. Manufacturers like Honda won't lift a finger if those CBR 600RRs don't sell. This creates intense pressure, especially when new models with updated designs start arriving. Dealers aim to sell bikes within 60 to 90 days. After that, unsold models become financial burdens. A Ducati Panigale, sitting unsold for 237 days, isn't just waiting, it's draining cash daily. In fact, dealers would sometimes be better off tossing it in a lake than keeping it on the floor. Things are worse than ever. With high interest rates and weak consumer confidence, unsold bikes are piling up like never before, surpassing even 2008 levels. Reports show models like the Yamaha M07 or Harley-Davidson Pan America sitting unsold for 150 to 180 days, triple the industry target. It's a silent financial crisis, hiding in plain sight. Dealers often suffer because they bet on bikes people simply don't want. It all comes down to forecasting, a fancy term for guessing what riders will buy next year, and manufacturers get it wrong, a lot. I toured Kawasaki's planning department in 2019 and saw how much effort goes into this. Analysts study sales trends, demographics, even Instagram hashtag. Millions are spent designing new models based on these forecasts, which turn into dealer orders, whether dealers like it or not. But forecasting is glorified fortune-telling, and reality often crashes the party. Maybe the economy tanks, gas prices spike, or a rival brand drops a nearly identical model for less. Even weather or social trends, like an influencer dismissing adventure bikes, can crush demand overnight. A prime example? Electric motorcycle. Companies like Zero and Harley's Livewire invested heavily expecting a big shift from gas. But in 2025, electric sales are crawling, not booming, proving just how risky those forecasts can be. The adventure bike boom of 2021 to 2022 turned into a major misfire. Brands like BMW, KTM, Harley, and Ducati all jumped in, convinced these high-end, do-it-all machines were the future, but they massively overestimated the demand. Turns out, most riders aren't dreaming of off-roading to Patagonia. They still prefer relaxed cruisers or agile sport bikes. As a result, dealerships were left with rows of $20,000 adventure bikes gathering dust. Even small decisions like color killed sales. Ducati's bright yellow Panigale was a flop, while the matte black version had riders waiting months. Kawasaki's infamous brown bikes, a total disaster. Once these bikes leave the factory, there's no going back. Dealers are stuck trying to move them, often resorting to deep discounts. At first, it's a modest markdown, but as weeks pass, desperation grows. A $13,000 bike might drop to $11,299, then plunge below $10,000. This isn't a sale, it's damage control, like tossing weight off a sinking ship. The adventure bike boom of 2021 to 2022 turned into a major misfire. Brands like BMW, KTM, Harley, and Ducati all jumped in, convinced these high-end, do-it-all machines were the future, but they massively overestimated the demand. Turns out, most riders aren't dreaming of off-roading to Patagonia. They still prefer relaxed cruisers or agile sport bikes. As a result, dealerships were left with rows of $20,000 adventure bikes gathering dust. Even small decisions like color killed sales. Ducati's bright yellow Panigale was a flop, while the matte black version had riders waiting months. Kawasaki's infamous brown bikes, a total disaster. Once these bikes leave the factory, there's no going back. Dealers are stuck trying to move them, often resorting to deep discounts. At first, it's a modest markdown, but as weeks pass, desperation grows. A $13,000 bike might drop to $11,299, then plunge below $10,000. This isn't a sale, it's damage control, like tossing weight off a sinking ship. In the final phase of discounting, when bikes have sat unsold for over 200 days, prices often drop below what the dealer originally paid. At that point, they're taking a loss on every sale just to recover floor space and vital cash. The psychology behind this is fascinating. Back in 2018, when I worked at a multi-brand dealership, we held weekly meetings debating when to begin cutting prices. No one wanted to be the first to drop prices sharply. It could hurt brand perception and upset recent buyers. But being the last one holding stale inventory was worse. This led to a domino effect. Once one dealer slashed prices, others followed to stay competitive. I saw a Honda CBR 650R go from $9,000 to $7,900 across every Portland dealership after just one broke ranks. The bike's value didn't change, only the urgency to sell did. And when price cuts fail, dealers resort to clever tactics, like reclassifying new bikes as used. Here's how this clever workaround, strategy, actually plays out. Imagine a brand new 2023 Yamaha M09 SP has been sitting on the showroom floor for 180 days, untouched. The sales manager then reassigns it as part of the dealership's loaner fleet. When customers come in for service, they're handed the keys to this perfectly clean, zero-mile bike as a temporary ride. After just a few weeks, it racks up 300 to 400 miles, barely used, but now technically pre-owned. That tiny change in classification makes a big difference. As a used bike, it's no longer bound by strict manufacturer pricing rules, like minimum advertised pricing or franchise restriction. Suddenly, the dealer can list that $11,599 bike as a demo special for $9,499, thanks to a few hundred harmless miles. It's still practically new, but now it can be marketed freely and sold quickly, often within days. It's a legal loophole that turns stale inventory into fast-moving deals. These reclassified bikes often sell within days. I recall a dealer in Sacramento who had 11 unsold Triumph Street triples from the previous year, just sitting there. To solve the problem, they had every employee, sales staff, technicians, even the receptionist, take one bike home for 2 weeks. After returning with a few hundred miles, each motorcycle was cleaned up and listed as a demo with $2,800 off MSRP. All 11 bikes sold within a month. It's a widely used tactic among multi-line dealerships. They assign slower-moving models to employees, including mechanics, sales reps, and even family members of the owner, for extended test rides. This approach has multiple benefits. The staff gains hands-on experience with the bikes, making them more effective at selling, and the bikes are broken in through real-world riding. After 45 to 60 days and a few hundred miles, the bikes can legally be marketed as pre-owned, allowing aggressive discounts without breaking pricing rules. One of the smartest moves in the dealership playbook is the Certified Pre-Owned (CPO) program, a tactic that's both clever and highly effective. Dealers take motorcycles that are essentially brand new but haven't sold, run them through a 150-point inspection, which is usually just confirming that everything already works, and repackage them as premium used bikes with extended warranties. This allows them to offer steep discounts while presenting it as added value. For buyers, it's a win. You get a like-new bike with even more warranty coverage than a fresh-off-the-floor model, all at a lower price. For dealers, it's a financial escape hatch that helps reduce inventory costs without upsetting manufacturers. They can't knock $3,000 off a brand new Ducati without backlash. But a demo version? Fair game. That same Ducati Monster that sat unsold at $13,995 can be relisted as a CPO unit at $11,495, looking and riding just like new, but finally ready to move.